Hey everyone, Paul from Model Boat Builders again. Okay, finally got some news on the houseboat, the Eclipse as she's called. Taken it off the original Eclipse, but of course I've changed a few things. But she's all ready. I've got a video coming up now on this vlog to show you the finished product. If you ever go into building anything like this yourselves, just a point of interest and save you a lot of time, I tried 3 different float systems. I've tried PVC at high pressured PVC, capped off the ends at their 42mm, unsuccessful. Sat too low in the water. It finished up that the pipe was just far too heavy, wasn't enough air locked into the floats. And then I tried I got rid of that one, and then I tried a PVC. I tried to go to a lighter gauge of PVC and I went to a 55. Capped off the ends, again very heavy, put those on, disaster. So anyway, my daughter actually came up with a bright idea that why don't we put some foam or polystyrene, which I don't like polystyrene being in environmental situation, but what we came up with are these kids floaties that they play with in the swimming pools. So of course they're over a metre long, and the good thing about it is that they've got a hole right through the centre. So I thought, well, when I didn't go out and buy them first, I thought, well, let's just try and work it out on paper, see what size they are, number one, which are terrific because they're around about the 52 mil. I didn't have to block off the ends, and I thought by keeping it open as such, the water will penetrate through, which will give it a better buoyancy. Tried it in the water just as they are, and exactly right. The water only sits up to around about here, but as the vessel would be going along, the water of course would go straight through the float system. You can bend them slightly. Then I had the problem, of course, with PVC pipe. You can get the proper connectors to fit the PVC pipe, which I put underneath this vessel. Had so many problems fitting it and pulling it all out. I lowered them. I tried to do everything. I just could not get the buoyancy correct, and I couldn't get the balance of the vessel, because most of the weight of course is in the stern, because you've got all the mechanisms in the aft of the stern, and I'm using heavy duty battery. So I'm using my boat batteries, and so I thought, right, well, I'll try this, and then the next problem is of course securing it to the bottom of the craft. So I came up with first off with araldite. So I tried to because it's so well, because of the product, I'm thinking, well, araldite one might burn in putting it in, it might dissolve it. So I tried a little bit and it seemed okay. So I've used an araldite, and then I used a silicone, which is a waterproof clear silicone. So I've attached them completely just as a trial to start with before I put it back into the water, and I used the silicone, stick it right up, and then turn the vessel over, and then fill in right along the final edges along here onto the bottom of the deck. Anyway, enough about that. So that seemed to work, except the bow, because I put the floats too far forward onto the bow seemed to still sit up on an angle as such. So what I've done since then, and you probably might see it in the video that I've just done, is that I've cut back at 45 degrees. So if you look at the original vessels on houseboats, and we're taking the houseboats off the Murray River in Victoria here, when they do these, they cut them back normally around about 45 degrees. So I thought, okay, So I shortened it just a fraction, shortened it a fraction off the bow, and then come in with the 45 degrees. So I'm hoping that that will lower the bow. If it doesn't, what I would do is counterweight underneath. I'll put a counterweight, and just to keep the bow down a fraction, just so I can get nice and level in the water. I've run it in the bath, runs perfectly. The rudder system wasn't long enough, wasn't deep enough, and where the propeller was, it wasn't connecting properly with the rudder system. The rudder system was lower, and if you can imagine that the propeller, of course, is on an angle as such, but the rudder was around about here, and it wasn't really getting enough turning. So what I've done is I've raised the rudder up, I've extended it, so I've got a long rudder now, and it's probably about that long, and the propeller is about that angle there, so it's got full propulsion back onto the rudder. So anyway, so if you do, attempt to make these houseboats or anything of that similar type, or a paddle steamer or anything like that, this is definitely the go, because you've got to have something that's lightweight, and the pipes were just so heavy that it was just drawing it down into the water, and it was too close to the deck, and in some cases when I first did it, the water was just lapping over the deck. Thank goodness everything was waterproofed anyway, the water couldn't get inside of the cabins or anywhere like that. So anyway, so that was that. All successful, all the lights are working, motors running, rudder system that I put in was my own design. That's so far, touch wood. I hope to get it out onto a river within the next week, so weather permitting, of course, and we'll get that sorted out. Just back on, I had a few comments from overseas. Yeah, thank you very much for all your comments, and please subscribe and ring that bell, and so that when I do come up again, it'll remind you that I've got a blog on. I really appreciate it, and share. It really does help me, and I love to give people some ideas. And the last vlog I was talking about the jet boat. Well, that's finished. I got bored and I had the jet motor sitting here, and here she is, already finished. Had a test of it. I'll probably have to get the buoyancy on this one done a little bit heavier, but there she is there. So she's a jet propelled, as you can see there. It's water cooled, so there's the outlet for the water cooled system, and of course it comes in through the top of the motor here, top of the jet. The rudder system I had to change. I had the rudder system originally around about, you can't see it now, there's a very slight hole there. I had it through here, but when I did have it in the water, because these jet propelled motors throw out such a lot of water, I was probably getting a little bit of black splash inside. So what I've done is taking the rudder system up into the top section here. So if I do get water in there, it really won't matter because the electronic gear is all waterproofed. I've covered it all, so hopefully, touch wood, that should be right. The battery is right up in the system here. Now I've got to be quite careful because it's not sticky, but it's had its final coat. As you can see, she's nice and shiny, and the lovely face on her. I haven't copied it off anything at all. It's just my own design, but I just want to try and do something there. I am worried about cabins or people sitting in it. I've done it as a system of a jet boat, and that's it. But she comes apart like so, and it is nice and tight, I'll tell you that now. So hopefully it will stay nice and dry. So what I've done inside here, I've waterproofed the receiver. There she is in there, totally waterproofed. The jet motor is here. The rudder system's over on this side, so I've counterweighted the whole system. Main controller is there. So It looks a bit of a mess, but I've worked out the weights hopefully right, and it seemed to sit into the water all right, but probably not heavy enough. So, and even with the big battery, the battery slides in here, so it's right up under the bow, so it actually levels out. But it's very, very light, and I think it's probably too light. So I might have to weigh down a little bit more, and the way I've done that in another boat, in this one here, is that you can see at the bow here, these are actually sinkers, solid lead sinkers, and I had the same problem there. I needed to get the craft level, so I put two, and that's what they are. They just look like bollards, really. I think I might have to do the same. I might have to just put a couple of lead weights inside here to bring the water up to level, because there's your inlet there. Being a flat bottom, that has to be right under the water. When I did do a test on it, I found that it wasn't sitting low enough in the water. And of course, the more weight you put into the boat, probably the slower it's going to be. It's a shame, but that's just the system that they have, and there's nothing else different. All the jet propelled motors like this, that's what they do. They sit at the bottom, and you can't do anything about it. So that's what she looks like, and I've just painted it up a little bit. As I said, fits nice and tight, so she's really not a struggle, but you've got to really work on it to get it nice and airtight and waterproof. There she goes. So that was the last little job that I did, and that one down there nice and tight. Okay, there she is, the blue and yellow Terror, with a nice smiley face just like me. But we'll get that in the water. She's got all the running gear all ready to go, exactly the same as the other craft. So I've got two of those, so that's now boat number 7. I don't know what I'm going to do next. If you've got any ideas, yeah, shoot us a line, will you, please? And leave a comment, give us an idea. I'm at a standstill. I've got a couple of I've got some big motors in there and small motors. I just don't know. I don't think I'll go onto a speedboat. I want to go onto another river craft. I wouldn't mind doing a tug. I've seen some fantastic tugboats on YouTube. Some of them are just absolutely beautiful. I know they come from kits, and please, I'm not having a go at you guys again on kits, where everything's to scale. As you all know, I don't do anything by scale. I don't do anything by plan. Everything's up here and off pictures. So, and this little ripper here is completely out of my mind. So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty radical. That's probably what I should call it, radical. So there we go. So I've got 2 boats now to put onto the water, and this week I'll be working on smoke machines. Now I've got smoke machine already planned. I've got all the gear for it, apart from a couple of other little things I have to get, but I've got the containers, I've got the special wire, where I've gone out and got an old hair dryer, that's what you can use, is the coil. I've got the batteries, and I've studied it quite a bit, and they're quite straightforward. So even if anybody would like one, sure, just drop us a line. But the smoke machine's going to go into my paddle steamer, which you probably haven't seen for a while, but that's outside. That's in the lounge room on display case that I've got, and the big ship, because I can't fit them all in here. That's the problem. So the big ship's out there, and the paddle steamer, I'm going to put them both on smoke. Both are on sound, so I've done that. I wouldn't mind trying to get a camera, and if anybody can help me there, I've got miniature cameras which I've taken off my drones, but I just need a little bit of help with a circuitry or something that's nice and simple, even off your phone. I don't care, but any ideas that you got, really appreciate it. Alright, so anyway, won't rave on anymore. That's all I've got so far. If you've got any ideas, send them to me, and we'll see what we can do. As you can see now, I've got these out the back here. This is the old bunker boat, Filipino bunker boat, and from Boracay, and the other speedboat, which is ready to go back into water again. I've changed the prop on that one, as I said to the last vlog. So yeah, I'm going to be quite busy. If we get some decent water, I won't be putting out the rescue craft, but these two need to go back out into the water again to do another final run and see how we go. The way it's going, I'm going to need a trailer. Put all the boats in and then just take them down to one place. I've just got to get a good stock of batteries. I only use the 2 batteries, so recharging them all the time, I'll probably need a whole handful of batteries just to take with me. But I wouldn't mind loading them up in the car one day and just taking, you know, say 4 or 5 and giving them all a good run. So and then I'll be doing some vlogs on that, so it won't be listening to my voice all the time and being bored. Alright, anyway, I'll leave you with the vlog, and sorry about the quality of it. I still haven't got my Canon working the way I want it to work on the tripod, so I've taken it off a mobile phone, off my mobile phone. But the Eclipse, she's sitting right there. Very, very happy with it. I think it's come up really well for something that's off a photograph, which there's the old photograph there. The only thing I didn't do is all this, the checkered around the deck. I didn't put that onto the rails. That's the only thing I didn't do, but I just put a spar in here, which this one hasn't got. I've put the barbecue up the front, as you could see in the vlog when it comes up. So it's pretty similar, It probably should have been a little bit longer. It seems to be quite square, but in real life it is quite long. So it's just the way that I think the pictures that show it. Alright, enough for the time being. Thank you again. Please subscribe, please like and share, ring the bell and do whatever you like, and send me some comments. I really love it every time. Alright, so look after yourselves, stay safe, God bless, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.